Hey you guys, what's going on? It's your boy Nate. Today's video is going to be about your purpose, all right? So a lot of guys are stuck in life figuring out what their purpose is, all right? It's no surprise a lot of guys feel stuck in what they're doing, whether it's a job, whether it's maybe the same workout routine, maybe it's you have this idea of what you want to do, but you don't really know how to get there. You don't really know what to do, okay? So this video, I'm gonna break it down 5 easy steps, and they're easy if you apply them, but we're gonna break them down and talk about how they're gonna work for you, okay? So that first step, guys, is gonna be slow down. Now, when you're trying to figure out what your purpose is, what you're supposed to be doing in life, that thing that, when the passion meets the hard work, okay? It's when you really enjoy what you're doing and you're working towards something. I truly believe every man, if he finds his purpose, if he finds what he's supposed to be doing in life, is going to have a lot more enjoyable life ahead of him, okay? So you gotta slow down. You have to, whatever routine you're in right now, whatever lifestyle you're living right now, okay? One of the biggest things most people have to do is just slow down, okay? Free up your schedule a little bit, okay? You're gonna have to maybe pull back a little bit from over socializing. What I mean by that, a lot of people might try to fill their schedule with a lot of activities, or all weekend they're out doing stuff, right? You're gonna have to find a little bit of time to actually have some quiet time alone, okay? And that actually goes into point number 2. You have to get quiet, okay? You have to find a quiet place. Now, what this means, okay, if you've got a family, it might be a little bit more difficult, but you can always find time for a quiet place. If that means you have to wake up earlier in the morning to maybe go for a walk, go to a park, if that means you have to go to the other side of the house, go to your office, shut the door and think, if that means you have to schedule things to where you are able to focus and get quiet and just think and actually start to figure out who you are. And what I'd recommend a lot of people do, and this is something I've been doing more of, is writing things down, whether that's a journal, whether that's just your thoughts on what you might want to do, right? One thing I did, this has been a long time now, probably a year and a half, close to 2 years. I actually took a piece of paper and I wrote down like the top 20 things that I wanted out of life in like the next 10 years. And it was a lot of things, guys. It was a lot on that list. I wanted to find a 6-figure job. I wanted to get a Lamborghini. Like, there was a lot of just random things on that list. And I would look at that list every day and I would go, okay, yeah, I've achieved this, I've achieved that, I've achieved this. And it was cool to see, like, just writing things down, how you can make it that much more real. Now, am I gonna get a Lamborghini in the next, well, at this point, like 8 years? Well, I'd like to have the ability to be able to do so, whether I actually do or not. But the point is, just write down what you want, okay? Get in that quiet zone and just think, okay? Some people are better thinking, some people have to write it out. Either way, just get quiet, okay? Number 3 is gonna be taking action in that direction, okay? So you wanna actually, of course, you wanna slow down, you wanna get quiet, and then once you figured it out, a lot of people are gonna stop at getting quiet, figuring out, and not doing anything about it. And I know this seems so obvious, guys, but a lot of times you get trapped in paralysis by analysis, okay? A lot of guys, myself included, very logical, always thinking about things, always overthinking things. And the thing is, guys, if you just think about it, if you just stop there, well, you're never going to actually accomplish anything. You're never going to actually get to that point. So taking action in that direction means you don't have to go from the start line to the finish line, okay? You don't have to get from A to Z. It doesn't have to be like that. I know we live in a world where everything is instant gratification. If you want to be amused, you can pop on Netflix and find a comedy. If you want to be entertained, you can go to another streaming site or play video games, or you can go out, see a movie, or go to a bar. Like, there's things you can do to instantly gratify yourself, but you're gonna have to realize most of the time, a majority of the time, it's going to be a step in that direction, okay? So you have an idea, you have your purpose in mind, you just got to take a step in that direction, okay? So you just got to keep doing that. All right, and that actually goes into number 4. And again, it seems very obvious, but you got to follow through daily, okay? Daily. That means every day you have to take a step in that direction. It doesn't mean, well, Monday, Tuesday, yeah, I'm going to do it. Wednesday, Thursday, I'm going to kind of ease up. Friday, I'm going to go for it again. Maybe Saturday, definitely not Sunday. You can't have that mindset, okay? Whatever your ultimate purpose is, and if you write it down or think about it, let's use this as an example, okay? Let's say that you've sat down and you've thought about it and you're like, you know what? I want to open up my own business. I really want to open up my own business, and I want to open up a pawn shop, all right? I really want to open up this pawn shop. And so you have the idea in your mind, you take that idea, you move every day in that direction. What does that mean? You are constantly researching how to open a pawn shop, right? You're looking into small business loans. You're looking into how a pawn shop operates. You're watching YouTube videos on pawn shops, right? You're looking at the top pawn shops in the nation. You're looking at all these different things, right? You have a date, right? You kind of get an idea, you kind of get this blueprint going, and you go, okay, well, you know what? If I can achieve this, if I can have this amount of money, if I can get this loan approved by this time, if I get an LLC, right, and figure out how to do that, if I do all these things, then I can have all these things line up to the point where in 2.5 years, on this date, I will actually have my own pawn shop open at this location or in this general vicinity, right? If you live in a certain city, you want to kind of scope out your area. There's a lot of like shopping strips that have vacancies, right? You want to look in these areas, you want to look at high traffic areas, you want to look at areas that maybe the pawn shops aren't that great, or maybe the pawn shops just aren't there. You want to find all these things, right? And then you want to act on that daily. You want to keep moving in that direction. Does that mean you can never have a holiday? Of course not. Does that mean you can't have a break every now and then? Of course not. But the overall theme, right? Every day you're carving out a little bit of time, you're moving towards this goal, okay? You're making your purpose reality. And really, guys, the last thing here, and this is a very general video, I'm probably gonna make more that go into a little bit more detail because there's just so many facets that go into this, but hopefully this is helpful and it gives you guys a blueprint. If so, please drop a like, comment, subscribe. There's gonna be more where this came from. So the last point, guys, is point number 5, and that's gonna be you have to pivot when and if necessary. So what this means, and I'm just gonna talk a little bit on my own experience here. A lot of guys, let's say, you're young, 16, 17, 18 years old, and you're trying to figure out your purpose in life, okay? You have all this pressure. Or maybe you're a guy that's not really thinking about your purpose, and maybe you just kind of happen to wake up, or it's been this thing that's you've seen on social media, people are telling you to find your purpose, and you're just curious like what that means, okay? Now, I'm gonna be honest with you guys. Right now, so I just recently turned 27, and when I was 17, it's hard to believe it's already been 10 years, but guys, time flies. When I was 17, I had a much different picture in my head of what I wanted to do and where I wanted to be. Now, I achieved a lot of things between 17 and 27. I really did. I achieved things I never thought I would achieve. That being said, I thought I would be in a much different place when I was 27. Now, some of that is bad choices, some of that is mistakes, some of that is learning lessons. It's really all learning lessons, but that's another video too. But when you're on that journey of your purpose, every day working towards it, accomplishing those goals, sometimes you're gonna have to make pivots. You're gonna have to go in a slightly different direction. Example, let's go back to the pawn shop, okay? Let's say you wanna open up that pawn shop. You find out that in your area that's just really not gonna make sense to open a pawn shop, or maybe it's just something that you once you've really looked into it, you're just not, that's really not your purpose, but you want to open up a fishing store instead, okay? You wanna have a little fishing store. It's a great area. There's really no fishing stores around, yet you're in an area that a lot of people love to fish. And it's just something that you've always really enjoyed. It's a hobby, and you figure out along the way that, hey, this is actually what I want to do. So you want to take that, idea, right? You want to pivot from the pawn shop. Sometimes you don't have to be so stuck on something, right? Things happen, things change, circumstances happen. You want to still have that ultimate goal of like, okay, I want to open up my own business, but maybe that changes along the way, okay? Maybe that changes a little bit, and that's okay. You got to be able to pivot. Another really great example, it's let's say you're going to college and you really thought you wanted to be an engineer, okay? And once you actually got into college, you started going down that path, you're just like, man, you know, I really don't want to do this. Maybe you were pressured by your family, friends. Maybe it's just something you thought you had to do. Guys, sometimes when we do the things we're supposed to do, we end up finding out that that's not really what we're meant for, okay? Now, if that's the case, let's say you end up finding out engineering is not for you, but you really want to do computer science. Guys, it's okay to pivot, okay? Figure out what it takes to do that. Again, the ultimate goal is to get your degree, okay? Now, what I want to do here is kind of just conclude this. I want to sum it all up for you guys, okay? So we know we have to, I'm gonna look at my list here because that's what lists are for. We have to slow down, we have to get quiet, we have to take action in that direction every day, we have to follow through daily, and then of course we have to pivot when if necessary. But guys, in conclusion, when it comes to your overall purpose in life, this is always gonna slightly change, okay? And if you're spiritually in tune, okay, I'm not sure if that's really your guys' thing or not, but you know, whatever you feel like you're being led to do, sometimes that might change. Sometimes, again, our circumstances might change, and that's okay. All right, our purpose does change a little bit as time goes on, and I'm still learning as I go. I just want to be able to give some young guys, and maybe some guys around my age, some advice on what to do with their life. And so find your purpose, guys. It takes a little bit of work up front, but it really just means getting to know yourself, being purposeful with yourself, and just finding out what you enjoy. And it's a journey. Your purpose doesn't have to be this, like, you're dead set on becoming a doctor and nothing's gonna change your mind, like you have to be a doctor. This goes for a lot of younger people too, who feel really pressured into it, right? Like you have to, right? It's like, well, who says you have to? Like, if that's what you really want to do, if that's your passion, if that's where you enjoy learning, if that's what you enjoy, if you think you're going to enjoy that in the future, if that's what you really feel called to do, by all means, go for it. But don't be so stuck on like one thing, okay? It's okay to pivot. Your purpose might change a little bit. You're going to find out more about yourself, but always just stay true to yourself. Be adaptable, okay? Be able to overcome any situation that's in front of you, and I promise you're going to be able to find out your purpose. Guys, if you have any questions, if you have any comments at all, please, again, comment below. Go ahead and drop that like and subscribe, and we'll be back with the next one.